Gonna be a hot one today, boys. It has been almost 23 years since the release of Final Fantasy VII, and it is still giving us stuff to talk about, from treasure chests we can open from different load zones to hidden black materia models inside of inns, and now I have an awesome theory about the story to talk about. I have to give a shout out to my girl Hitaru Black. She was the first one to start talking about this theory in my chat, and then I took it and kind of ran with it, and we talked back and forth and ended up in a pretty cool spot that I think really has some great evidence behind it and might actually give us a ton of insight into what really happened with Cloud falling into the lifestream for the first time when Sephiroth takes over his mind. This theory begins with catatonic Cloud. See, we always thought that Cloud was catatonic due to extreme Mako poisoning. After the whole thing with Sephiroth goes down, he gets thrown into the lifestream, gets a bunch of Mako infused into him, just like what happened to him back with the Hojo experiments at the end of Crisis Core. And then he appears in Medial after swimming through the lifestream, not being able to perish completely. And the doctors pick him up there, decide that it's Mako poisoning because that's what makes sense, and we've always just kind of accepted that. The last time this happened to Cloud was, like I said, at the end of Crisis Core. Hojo does a bunch of experiments on him with Genova cells and also Mako. He gets extreme Mako poisoning, and he can barely function other than just follow Zack around. Now, during this state, he absorbs a lot of Zack's stories as his own memories, and he slowly over time heals and becomes Zack Cloud, the Cloud we know from the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. Now, the crux of this theory is that Cloud did not get Mako poisoning and is not in his catatonic state because of his trip through the lifestream. The reason this was brought up is that it doesn't make a lot of sense that Cloud would be healed of his Mako poisoning after the lifestream event with Tifa. We always thought that the reason the Mako poisoning was worse the second time around is that Cloud also lost his psyche. He has no idea who he is anymore. He's been Zack Cloud up to this point, and then after Sephiroth throws him into the lifestream, he forgets who he is, and that's the reason that not only is he catatonic, but he can't even talk straight, and he just seems completely destroyed. Now, the lifestream event with Tifa does fix this issue. He is no longer Zack Cloud, and he is no longer lost of psyche completely. He is now true Cloud. However, this doesn't explain how Cloud's Mako poisoning gets cured. The first time he gets Mako poisoning when he's with Zack, it takes him about 3 months to go from when Zack gives him the Buster Sword to get to Midgar and be found by Tifa and become Zack Cloud. Here, however, it seems to magically happen. Cloud and Tifa fall into the lifestream, Tifa helps him find his identity, and then when he emerges from the lifestream, he is suddenly cured. So this began an interesting theory discussion. What if Cloud never got Mako poisoning? Now, your first question is probably going to be, how is that possible? He falls into the lifestream, how would he not get Mako poisoning? Well, when Cloud and Tifa fall into the lifestream and find themselves inside of Cloud's subconscious, it's Eris that protects them. You can learn more about that event in my in-depth look at Tifa video. It is very easy to assume that Eris also protected Cloud when Sephiroth threw him into the lifestream after the Big North Crater event. This would explain how he ends up on the beaches of Medial physically unharmed. The next question we have to ask ourselves is, if he's not Mako poisoned, then what's going on with Cloud? We know, of course, that his psyche is broken, but obviously there's more going on than just that. For this, I draw your attention to the reunion theory. The reunion theory is basically Sephiroth's way of bringing all of the Genova cells back to one place. This is done by controlling anybody who has Genova cells inside of them and slowly pushing them towards the North Crater. Playing the game, I always thought the reunion theory was basically Sephiroth just using his clones to get the black materia. But there's more to it than that. Why else would Sephiroth bring all of the Genova pieces into one place? Of course, to rebuild Genova. Suddenly, the boss Genova synthesis makes a lot more sense. This may also be why we don't see any of the black hooded figures after the North Crater event. They've all been transformed into the new Genova. This leaves us with a question though. What about the Genova cells inside of Cloud? And with that, we reach the epiphany of this theory. What if Sephiroth forcefully pulled the Genova cells out of Cloud, and that is what created catatonic Cloud? It would make a lot of sense that the doctor would say he's never seen a case so bad, if it's something that he's never actually seen before. It would make a lot of sense that Sephiroth would need all the Jenova cells to create Jenova synthesis. It would also make sense that Sephiroth could no longer mind control Cloud after the North Crater event because he no longer has Jenova cells in him. It would make sense that in Advent Children, Cloud also gets Geostigma just like everybody else, whereas if he had Jenova cells in him, I feel like the Geostigma would either not work or work in a different way. And finally, it would make a lot more sense that Cloud would be healed of this ailment a lot quicker than the Mako poisoning he got back in Crisis Core. At the North Crater, after mind-controlling Cloud to give him the black materia, Sephiroth pulls the Jenova cells out of Cloud. He now thinks that Cloud cannot survive a trip through the lifestream since he doesn't have Jenova cells in his body, so he casts him into the lifestream and forgets about him. The problem is, he forgets that Aeris is still in the lifestream, and Aeris uses her powers as an ancient to protect Cloud through the lifestream until he reaches Mideel. Cloud is extremely weak after the Jenova cells have been ripped from his body, given that his body has been relying on them for some time now, and his psyche is also broken due to his interaction with Sephiroth. This puts him in a catatonic state, until he and Tifa get thrown into the lifestream again. While in the lifestream, Aeris protects Cloud once again, as well as Tifa. Tifa gets to work on fixing Cloud's psyche, while Aeris helps to heal his body from where the Jenova cells were ripped out. Which makes sense, given that she's an ancient, she can actually do something like that, protect him from the alien life form. It doesn't make as much sense that she could heal him from Mako poisoning. We have no recollection of ancients ever doing that. So, once Cloud's body is healed, they return to the surface, and Cloud no longer has Jenova cells in his body. They continue on their quest, and Sephiroth can no longer play with Cloud's mind until Jenova cells get reinserted into Cloud's body when he gets Geostigma in Advent Children. This theory has a lot of evidence going for it, but I would love to hear what you guys think of it, so please comment down below. What do you think? Mako poisoning or Jenova cells getting ripped out? Let me know what you think, yay or nay, on this theory. Also, this is the first Final Fantasy VII theory video I've done, so I would absolutely love to hear your guys' crazy Final Fantasy VII theories. Be sure to type them down below, and if I see any interesting ones, I would love to delve deeper into them, and maybe even make a video just for you. I appreciate the love and support, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.